What is up, guys? In this video, we're gonna go over why you find it so incredibly hard to create your desired reality and how you can fix it. This isn't gonna be a manifestation video where I talk about a bunch of different topics that seem to have no real correlation to one another. In this video, I'm just gonna give you actionable advice and insights that I've personally learned over the last 3.5 years, being an entrepreneur, building agencies, and making money online. And so this is going to be a shorter video than usual because it is a really precise topic, but a very, very important one at the same time. Over the last 3.5 years, we have worked with more than 300 plus partners one-on-one to grow their agencies past $60,000 a month. We've been able to achieve 7-figure months with one of those partners. We've been able to achieve 6 and multi-6-figure month with a couple of those partners. We've been able to do obviously above 10K and 60K a month with a lot of them. And we've also been able to crack some really good numbers ourselves. And so I would say I'm pretty qualified to talk about this, especially if you're in the early stages of your agency. Maybe you're making a bit of money, you have a couple clients, but revenue is not really increasing that much and you feel a bit stuck, frankly speaking. If that's the situation that you're in right now, where you want to grow the revenue of the agency or the profits of the agency, you make some money, you have a couple clients, but you just feel stuck, you can't charge as much as you want to, your profits aren't where they need to be, this is the video for you. And specifically, I really only want to touch on a couple of different points in this video that are going to make things very clear for you. The first one is why this is so important. The second one is how you can actually make that change. And everything from there, we're going to dive into afterwards. So why is this so important in the first place? The reason as to why this is so important in the first place is because at the end of the day, no matter how good your systems are, no matter how good these structures are and the processes that you have inside of your business, no matter how good the guidance is that you have, and no matter how good you execute, you're never going to be able to reach any goal you have unless you understand this. And I actually struggled to understand this and also implement this for quite some time. And so I'm going to be able to break this down for you in a really simple way. What you need to understand is that in this video, we're talking about you creating your desired reality, whether that's a certain amount of money or maybe a certain physique even to go with that, whether you have a complete picture of yourself and the person you want to become in front of yourself. It really doesn't matter. To create your desired reality, you need to understand that desiring in the first place means you don't have it, because you can only really desire something that you don't already have. Makes sense, right? The issue with this is that if we look at how humans are hardwired and how this world works, you can really only have what you already have. This is why the world is so unfair. There's people who don't need a lot, who have a lot, and then there's people who would need something, but they don't really have anything. And so money and the world and finances and your financial well-being clearly don't care about how bad you need it. That's not what it's about. What it's about is whether you have it or you don't have it. And unfortunately, you can only have what you already have. Maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't. Now, what am I talking about here? Again, if you desire something, you're signaling to yourself that you don't already have that thing. And if you signal to yourself that you don't have something, you're never going to be able to get it because you're subconsciously putting that thing on a pedestal. So what's the solution to this? How can we actually fix this? It's really simple. All we need to do is we need to understand that we need to take our focus away from every single outcome, no matter how much we desire it, because desiring in and of itself is signaling to yourself that you don't have it, which makes it impossible to get it. Okay? And so because of this, what we need to do for you to be able to create your desired reality is really simple. If we make an assumption here really quickly, okay? And that assumption is that there are infinite amounts of universes, meaning we're living in a multiverse, you could call it. Then you know that there are infinite versions of you out there. There's a version of you that has $1 million. There's a version of you that has 10K in their bank. There's a version of you that's a billionaire. There's a version of you that lives on the streets. There's infinite versions of you, meaning every single possibility coexists. For this reason, what we need to do, because you can only have what you already have, for you to be able to create your desired reality, is you need to take all the focus away that you have from the things you desire and stop desiring them at all. They need to be existing. And what I mean by that is you don't evaluate them. You don't see them as good or bad, or you desire them or you don't desire them. They're just there. They just coexist. Okay? And this helps you stop putting these things on a pedestal. You need to normalize them. This is why sometimes when people who have a lot of money, say certain things about their life, and you're like, this is such a prick, because they say something so outrageous. Like, for example, they have 5 cars and one of them breaks down and they're really down bad because of it. And you're like, bro, you have 5 cars. What's wrong with you? That's the exact issue, okay? So let me break this down. To them, it's normal that they have 5 cars. But here's the twist. People think that if someone, and we're talking self-made here, we're not talking inherited wealth. If someone has 5 cars, people think they have 5 cars and then they become the type of person that normalizes it to have 5 cars. That is not how it works. How it works is, if they're self-made, that they normalize having 5 cars and then they have 5 cars as an after effect of that. You need to normalize the desired reality that you want to be living in. But the twist is that, again, it can't be your desired reality and normalized at the same time, because if you normalize something, it's not a desire anymore. And so you need to take your focus away from desiring things at all. You understand that they just coexist and they are normal in your reality. And I know that it's a bit hard to put yourself into the mental state of mind to think it's normal for me to have 5 cars, or it's normal for me to make 60K a month, or whatever that may be. I know that that's hard. But what you want to do is you want to take baby steps. Maybe you're making 5K a month right now, okay? And if that's your reality, maybe you desire making 60. Okay. Again, you cannot reach 60K a month if that's your desire. You have to normalize making 60K a month. How do you normalize making 60K a month? Well, a couple different things. First things first, spam yourself with as much data as humanly possible on a daily basis that 60K a month is not a lot of money and it's easy to make. Although maybe in objective reality, that is not the case. You still want to convince yourself that that is the case because it's going to make it easier for you to get there. Why would you believe in something that holds you back? You should never do that. It doesn't make sense. Even if logically speaking, what you believe in does not make sense, you should still believe it if it serves you. You should only have beliefs that serve you. Back to the point. Spam yourself with data, meaning get around people that make more money. How do you get around people that make more money? Become skilled. Develop a certain skill, whatever that is, marketing, sales, maybe it's team management, H&R, really doesn't matter. Develop a certain skill and put yourself out there. Get into communities and get into groups of people, and then, build relationships. Over time, people are going to notice that you're really good at that thing, and then over time you become the go-to guy for this one certain thing. This is how you get into those rooms. Once you're in those rooms, you're going to realize that it's not that hard to make this amount of money. And once you realize that, you make it a lot easier for yourself and you normalize it. That's when it becomes achievable. It doesn't become achievable by you putting it on a pedestal and desiring it. So again, normalize it. It coexists, it's normal to you, and it's not on a pedestal and it's not your desire. That is how something becomes your reality. So because you can only have what you already have, what you have to do is you have to normalize things. You have to get to the frequency of the person in, a separate universe that is living the reality that you want to be living in. And once this frequency syncs, you're going to be able to live in that reality as well. I know this is a bit like esoteric and stuff, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Even if there's no, universes coexisting, because that's just a theory as far as I know. I don't know much about physics. Even if that's just a theory, and even if it doesn't apply, you getting to the frequency that you need to be at to match the character of the person that lives your desired reality is how you get there. The only twist is that you're gonna have to live in an old reality, being a new self for quite some time. And there's gonna be times where the universe tests you. It's gonna throw obstacles your way, and it's gonna throw things your way that make you doubt whether it's actually possible to get into this reality that you normalized. And it tries to get you back into your old self, okay? It's testing you. Whether you wanna call that a test by God or a test by the universe really doesn't matter, but you need to understand that you're gonna be tested. So again, normalize your desired reality. It is not your desire anymore. It is normal and natural to you, and it's your day to day. It is not put on a pedestal. It's normal. Okay, that's number one. Number two, get to the frequency. Focus on being rather than doing, because people think that you have and then you do and then you are, but you are and then you believe and then you have. So my point being, back to the example with the 5 cars. If you think having 5 cars is normal and you're operating at the frequency of the type of person that makes the amount of money to whom having 5 cars is normal, you're going to get that reality over time. But you're gonna have to exist in your old reality for quite some time before reality catches up to who you are internally. Your external world is a reflection of who you are internally. And you really need to understand that every single thing in your external world that you don't like or that you ideally would like to change, you need to understand first that you created this, because internally, this is who you are. If you drive a certain car, if you travel a certain way, if you live your life a certain way, you created this because it was existing in your internal, and then it transcended into the external. I know that this, especially when you hear it first time, sounds a bit esoteric and these things, but truly think about what I was saying there. This is how it works. You normalize something, you get to the frequency, you focus on being, you exist in an old reality for quite some time, and then you transition into the new one. And you're gonna be tested, and you have to successfully go through those tests to be able to get into that desired reality. That is what it's about. This is how you change your entire reality. This is how I changed my reality and how I continue to change my reality every week, every month, every year, and in the coming years, every decade. And so I would recommend you, if you listened up until this point, what I said in this video resonated with you, at least that's what I assume. I would recommend you rewatch this video as much as you need to really internalize what I was talking about. Focus on being, don't pedestalize, normalize, okay? Understand that you're gonna be tested. And if you do that for long enough, I can promise you, you're gonna be able to achieve what you wanna achieve. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you wanna see more videos like these, because I do like these topics. I'm actually quite interested in these topics myself and research them on a daily basis. And so let me know if these types of videos resonate with you as well. If you like them, I'm gonna put more out of these as well. And then outside of that, if you have any questions, also put them down in the comment section. I will link a video of a 1.5 hour long masterclass that I hosted last year for a couple of clients of mine right below this video that explains exactly what type of business I run, who I am, all of that good stuff, and provides a lot of value, specifically if you're someone who wants to grow an agency with inbound lead flow. So check that out if that sounds at all interesting. And then if you found this valuable, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.